In this country, we're having a huge debate over transportation spending. How do we find more money to continue to do the things that we currently do? We actually need to be having a conversation about how to do things differently, how to take the money we have already invested and get better use out of it. If you're traveling more than 20 miles an hour and less than 50 miles an hour, you are on a STROAD. A STROAD tries to do two things at once and does neither of them well. It tries to be both street and road. What's the difference? A road we can think of as a replacement of the railroad, which of course is a road on rails. And in a railroad, you would get on at one spot and you would get off at another. And there's a high-speed connection between the two. We want people to get from one place to another as quickly as possible. We widen out the lanes, we put in sweeping, forgiving geometries. We're trying to move people from one productive place to another productive place. When we build roadways to serve as high-speed connections, when we don't encumber them with accesses and turnoffs and interchanges, what we see is that we can make very cost-effective investments and move a lot of people very, very quickly. What is a street then? A street is, and always has been, a platform for building wealth. It's a platform for creating value within a place. As an engineer, we design streets by the foot. And what we're looking for from a financial standpoint is how much return do we get per foot that we put in. In a really good street environment, what we see is that the design is actually narrower streets, wider sidewalks. It's designed for people. It's designed for people to freely flow back and forth. You're gonna have sidewalks, you're gonna have good spacing, you're gonna have slow traffic, you're gonna have on-street parking, you're gonna have the ability of people to safely move from place to place in that environment. We can effectively build wealth-creating streets where we embrace the complexity and we work with it to incrementally improve the place over time with the budgets that our cities have. The problem comes when we try to do both, when we try to both move traffic quickly and create wealth. In those environments, we wind up with a STROAD. When you get into a STROAD environment, you get these signs that are out of scale. When you're driving along, they're actually not big enough to work for you, but when you're walking along, they're way too big, they're way out of scale. STROADs are incredibly expensive to build. Extra lanes, extra wide lanes, an attempt to essentially build highway-style roadways in places where we don't expect highway-style speeds. We put in traffic signals, we put in stop signs, we put in things that slow you down. Beyond that, they're not safe. So even though we've invested a lot of money to move cars quickly, nobody moves very quickly. These are incredibly expensive places to build, and the return we get for that investment is very low. As a nation, what we need to do is forget about trying to create a whole bunch more money to continue building what we've already shown doesn't work. We have to actually have a dialogue about how we take our existing STROADs and convert them to either wealth-creating streets or high-performance roadways. Roadways that connect our places, places that build wealth and value. If we can do that, we can spend less, we can get more. That's a strong towns approach.